Good afternoon to you all, right? Right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Right. So we will. Today is the penultimate week, right? So on 31st October, and going to be the last lecture. And if I have a time, because I have already sent you another tune that with regard to confidentiality management. If you can finish that also next week for betterment of you all, so I will going to discuss with you last year's paper, right? 2021 January. So this year's paper, right? Of course, January paper, and the things are seem to be okay. So therefore, we may have the exam in early January, right? So you may have exam most probably on early January. That is what I heard. Early January. So you have a time, November, or even I don't know about the December. There is a chance of having the exam, right? Maybe late December or early January. So you're going to have the exams because now the teachers are, I think, going to back to work. Most probably, maybe somewhere in between December and January, you're going to have the exam. Right. Now in HR, so we are going to discuss the final thing today. One is the grievances and grievances handling. So that's an important area in your organization. Unfortunately or fortunately for you, no questions asked on this area. But there is an it is there in your syllabus, right? So therefore, I'm going to touch a little bit of that also. The grievances and grievances handling. Now, now if you do something wrong in your organization, suppose if you do something wrong in your organization, now what happened if you do something wrong in your organization? Basically, come on, right, if you do something in your organization, what they do, what your management do, suppose you do something in your organization which are not I mean not good for the organization, or the bank will take some sort of a disciplinary action against you. No, is that no? Right. Now suppose now organizations do something bad about you, you complaints against the management. So the em- management complaints against the employee we call administrative issue, or what you call the disciplinary management. So if you are because if you are going to complaints against the management, then that is what you call grievance management or grievance handling, right? So if you have any problem, so what is now you noted that the grievance handling and basically are important today. Why we consider is important when the employees are suffering from grievances, and it is very difficult to utilize employees in an expected ways. So therefore, manager or HR more effectively and efficiently handling all these your issues. Okay, let me now talk about what is grievances. Now, grievances in any discontent or sense of injustice. ඔයාට හිතනවා නම් ඔයාට යම්කිසි අසාධාරණයක් වෙනවා කියලා කලමනාකාරීත්වයෙන්, sometimes you feel it or sometimes you feel it. That means sometimes you feel it මට අසාධාරණයක් වෙනවා කියලා ඔයා හිතන් ඉන්නවා. සමහර වෙලාවට එහෙම නෙවෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයා හිතනවා boss manager මාත් එක්ක පොඩ්ඩක් ඔක්ක. You feel it, but maybe it's not the case. That is why I say express or not. You feel it. Felt by an employee in connection with his employment in the organization. while you are working in the organization. Suppose if you find out some injustice, ayuktya, asadharanya, if you think or you feel it felt by an employee in connection with this employment, then we call it is a grievances. Now, why we need to handle the grievances? As I explained to you, it is an important thing. So the massive grievances may be potential source of massive sorry, it is not a massive grievances, right? You can say it is a minute grievances, right? Massive kapan, massive nimi, right? Maybe a minute grievances, maybe potential to source of massive problem for the organization. මේක ඉස්සෙල්ලාම නිකන් සුළු වශයෙන් ඇති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. But it can be lead to a huge problem in the organization. So therefore, you need to manage your grievances. Then dissatisfaction of one make dissatisfaction for many. Now, only some people show dissatisfaction. But remember, and it is a sample. Entire employees like that maybe. So, but you can see only from one person. But one person represents the entire employees represent the entire employees. So you think this is not only for that person, it may be all the employees they are not happy, right? Okay, so therefore it's not good. So it create conflicts with the management, right? And it may create conflicts. ආරවුල් ඇති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ විතරක් නෙමෙයි, it creates stress with the employee. We will discuss about what is job stress later on today, right? I'll just touch because that's also an important area in HR. What is job stress? So because now you know what is grievances and what happen if your grievances are not handled properly. Right? Now you know why grievances are not handled properly. What happened? So what is grievances? Any discontent, sense of injustice, expressed or felt, right, or not, or felt by an employee in connection with the employment in the organization. Now, why grievances handling important? With all these points and ultimately result of low productivity, absenteeism, turnover, low effectiveness and efficiency, right? So therefore, we need to manage your grievances. Clear? Right. Now let's look at it. What are the causes of grievances? ඇයි මෙහෙම මොකක්ින්දද මේ grievances ඇති වුනේ? දුක් ගැනවිලි ඇති වුනේ කුමක් නිසාද? Right? Okay. There are 5 ways you can identify. One may be causes relating to the job. Maybe your job is you were given a particular job to do. You may not competent enough to carry out the job. That means you don't know how to function your job. Maybe that is due to lack of your knowledge, your skill, or whatever reason. Then last week or week before we discussed about the training, right? So what training we are trying to do? Add component to your knowledge, competency, right? Or maybe because of if you have not got proper training, maybe you are not in a position to perform your job. So as a result of that, there may be a grievances taking place with regard to your job. මට මේ ජොබ් එක නම් එපා වෙලා. Right? එකක්. ජොබ් එක නිසා එපා වෙලා. එකම ජොබ් එක. Now you've been there for job assistant, training, banking assistant. So they are for last so many years. Right? Okay. Then causes relating to the working conditions. What is that? My goodness. Your manager in the bank are very harsh. He using leadership styles. What are the leadership styles he use? Autocratic, anadena, ekadipati, right? Maybe, right? Or maybe sometimes some managers are like laissez-faire. What is that? අනේ ඔයාට ඕන දෙයක් කරගන්න මන් දන්නේ like that. You don't want sometimes this type of people, right? So the type of leadership style your manager is performing. Then the relationship with your other people, right? Maybe how good with your staff of other branch staff, the relationship with them, whether you're bullying or maybe one thing, right? Okay, so sexual harassment or whatever, that is relationships you have. Or maybe work hazard. අයියෝ මගේ කොම්පියුටර් එක බලලම මට දැන් ඇස් පේන්නේ මගේ කොන්ද upset, right? So that is your working conditions, your grievances, work hazard, right? Cause relating to the working condition. Third, cause relating to the personal management division such as policies, procedures, and practices. What is that? You are not good with your HR department, your personal issues, right? So my salary or they never increase. I can't take leave. I don't have any promotion. I want to have a transfer, but then they won't give me. All the problems, right? Those are relating to the personal issues, personal management or policies, procedures issues, right? Okay, then you look at it causes relating to the alleged violation, right? Now, what is this? This may be unnecessarily the boss has taken a disciplinary action about you, right? මොනහරි බොරුවක් කරලා they find actions වැඩ කරන වෙලාවේ කතා කර හිටියා insubordinates මතකයිනේ boss කියන එක ඇහුවේ නැහැ. So there may be causes related to alleged violation, බොරු චෝදනා නිසා. Next one, cause related to the inappropriate personal behavior, right? That is also now you want to become poraya or you want to become pora in the bank. You know what I mean? So there are superiority complex. People are there. Oh, ambitious. Me, I want to become a manager. Too many things you are going to do. Right? If your branch or division is not permitted to do, then what happened? There may be a grievances. Always complain against management, senior officers, and things like that. So, due to these 5 reasons, the grievances can be taken place. What are the reasons? Right? What are the reasons grievances going to take place? Because of your job, because of your working condition, because of your personal issues, maybe due to some violation and due to some personal behavior. Now, say here also now, so you are a pregnant, right? Or maybe your husband, you recently married, husband was transferred to, say, for example, to Anuradhapura. Now you also want to go to the Anuradhapura because it's your newly married lady. So then you are requesting from the bank for transfer to Anuradhapura. There is no transfers, right? So those are the grievances come across. There are 5 reasons, causes for grievances, right? Okay. Now, how you understand the grievances? How you understand the grievances? So we need to understand, right? So grievances are considered to be an import, right? Get all the informations, right? Okay, right. Now, there are ways you can understand the grievances. One is exist interviews. What do you mean by an exist interview? Suppose now you are working in the bank. Now you want to retire or you want to resign. from the bank. Some people get a new job and resign. Some people are also without having the job also. They may retire, right? Excess interviews mean is an ideal opportunity from the management to ask from that resigned person, okay, final interview. Why you are leaving? My goodness. දැන් එතකොට මෑන් යන්නේ නේද? He is going to leave the organization. එතකොට අපි කියන්නේ යන්නේ යකා කොරහත් බිඳන් යනවා කියලා. ඒ වගේ මූ ඔක්කොම ටික කියනවා විස්තරේ. මේ මට ඉන්න දුන්නේ වැඩ කරනකම් මට වැඩ කරනකම් ඉන්න දුන්නේ මට බොස්ගෙන් බේරෙන්න බෑ. Manager very rude. He is asking us some things and blah blah lot of things. Now you tell everything, your grievances. Why management not taken actions against those grievances, and he took a decision to leave the organization. So the excess interviews is play an important role why you are leaving the organization, and they will tell you the truth, right? This excess interview information managed by HR department to basically to take some remedial actions, right? Okay, next is an attitude service. Sometimes you do a survey and you will understand some person is working very hard, suddenly he is not working hard. Some people are, you can do the observation as well. Some people are used to come to work every day, correct time, but suddenly you noted that his absenteeism is increasing, he's come to work late, and those are some grievances you can observe as a manager. Or maybe have a complaint. You may have a complaints and suggestion system, right? So then you say the number of complaints are increasing, right? That means there are some grievances faced by organization staff, right? Okay, these are some of the techniques you can use to understand the grievances, right? That's an important thing in management. Okay, now how you handle the grievances? How you handle the grievances? Right now, a lot of organization, I think the bank also have a formal grievances settlement procedure. It is laid out. Okay, if you have any problem, what to do, right? Now, if I ask you one thing from you, okay, right? Okay, if I ask from you all, are you having a grievances handling settlement procedure in your bank? Right? Gayatri, you are having a grievances handling procedure in your bank. Kalinga? You are Sampath, I suppose. Kalinga? Kalinga? Which bank you are put up?
Sampath.
Yeah, I can remember, no? Right. Are you, your organization, your bank is having a formal grievance handling procedure?
Actually, I don't know, sir.
Honestly, you don't know, right? So find it out. Now there is some organization, there is a procedure. Now suppose if you have some problem, right? So you're a very hard worker and you have some problem, you must find out some solution, no? Other option is you are not working happily, you may try to leave, you are trying to get another job, you are trying to move, right? So therefore, remember, so you try to there is an organization have a system procedure. Now, okay, to whom you're going to complain first, if you have, to whom you're going to talk, like that there is a procedure to be adapted, right? So a lot of banks may have a normal grievances procedure, right? Okay, now let's look at it, the next one, right? Okay, next one is handling grievances procedure. The next one is we call open door policy. Now, what is this open door policy mean? There is sometimes, you can meet your general manager, CEO, one day, right? You have to get the prior appointment with your secretary of the general manager, CEO. Anybody can just walk into GM, CEO, and he may allocate one day, maybe half an hour, maybe first, I mean, one particular day, we say Wednesday from 8 to 12. So that's the open door policy. So anybody can go to GM and complain his thing verbally to the GM, right? That's another method. Then there is a coercive method, so that also you can send a note to management saying that. Or committee approach. Sometimes there may be a committee established to handle the grievances. So if you have a problem, you can send the thing to that committee, and committee will look after your issue. Or maybe sometimes you may have a counselor in your organization, right? If you have a issue, you can talk to counselor, and there are some banks are having counselors. They will talk to you and try to sort out your problem. I told you the grievances is maybe imagination. You think you have an issue, but it is not the issue. There's nobody's, you don't have any issue with manager, but you feel it. Manager is not good terms with you. But sometimes the manager don't know even. So that is, you have some problem. So then you may have a counselor there to discuss on. Then maybe ombudsman, somebody who is independent, may looking after that, right? Okay. Or sometimes some people are using mixed method. Right? So I've just briefly touched, therefore, what is grievances, right? So it is important today. Grievances management is important because those ultimately, if you are not handle the grievances, then it may lead to what? Lead to a bad situation. So that is why we need to handle the grievances. Okay, understood about the grievances. So far, no question asked, Putha, but you better to know these things. Then we talk about a little bit of knowledge management also. One time they asked a question about knowledge management. So let me explain now what is knowledge management. Now we are living in a knowledge era. A lot of people sell their knowledge now. Good example in the India. A lot of Indian remittances. Now India is the number 2 remittance country. The main lot of money is coming from for remittances. Like Sri Lanka, our economy also depend on remittances. No, India is the number 2 in the world who receiving highest number of remittances. So a lot of people are working there. I mean, they are employ a lot of citizens of Indian are working in different countries. Basically, what they are selling the knowledge. Likewise, so today we are living in a knowledge era. So we need to manage our knowledge, right? So therefore, what is knowledge mean? Knowledge management is basically obtaining, growing, and sustaining intellectual capital in a financial institution, right? If you link this knowledge management to financial institution, you can say the knowledge management is recognized as a fundamental activity need to be carried out by financial institution for obtaining, growing, and sustaining intellectual capital in financial institution. Now, I will going to explain what are those intellectual capital later on, right? So, the knowledge management is defined as a set of activities that lead an institution in acquiring knowledge, both internally and externally. So, the creations of knowledge management, the flow of knowledge within the organization, and the usage of knowledge in an effective and efficient manner, which benefit lot of benefits to the organization, right? So that is why we try to, that is why sometimes now what you are doing here, you are doing a knowledge accumulation, right? You're passing the exam, IBSL, intermediate exam, right? So what you are getting? You are not getting knowledge. For that, how bank compensate? Yeah, bank compensate. Sometime once you pass the exam, the bank maybe reimburse your tuition fee, exam fee, like that. Maybe it's depend on the bank for 30,000, 50,000, and things like that. Is a monetary value is given uh, to you, right? So therefore, remember the and what you're basically look at it, improvement of your knowledge, right? So sometimes some banks are mandatory. Now I know the commercial bank is mandatory if you want to go from banking assistant to the next layer. So you need to have a banking qualification. So what they're expecting going through the banking exam to improve your knowledge. So that is the one of the objective of an organization, right? And obtaining, growing, and sustaining intellectual capital, right? Okay, so now you know how important the knowledge management. Then HRM practices is also viewed as a set of practices used by organization to manage human resource, facilitating the development of competencies, right? So therefore, HR division, one of the main advantage, right? Okay, improve the competencies of the employees. Now, through the organizational knowledge, what they're expecting a competitive advantage of the organization, right? Competitive advantage of the organization. Now, that means your bank, you can say my bank is having a knowledgeful, competent staff. So that is a competitive advantage when you're compared with your bank with another bank. So therefore, knowledge management therefore play an important role. So therefore, accordingly, HRM practices play an influential role, motivation of employment for to learning, right? So therefore, regard to support and implement the competitive strategy of an institution, right? So that's an important thing. So therefore, knowledge management play an important thing. These practices will encourage team responsibilities, enhancing organization culture, and thus to create and market new products and services. So for the knowledge management play an important role in your organization, right? I think you may understood that part very well. Clear up to now, right? So then I told you there are some intellectual capital in a financial institution. Now, what is knowledge management? So through the knowledge management, what you are trying to do to improve, right, to grow, right, gain knowledge about the intellectual capital in a financial institution. That is what knowledge management is all about. Then what do you mean by intellectual capital in a financial institution? Right? What is intellectual capital collectively referring to? Right? Okay, there are three things in basically intellectual capital in a financial institution. Remember that examiner can ask from you what are the intellectual capital in a financial institution, right? So you have three things basically. One is, right, and that of course, as I told you, determine the value of an institution and try to bring the competitiveness for an organization to develop competitive advantage, right? How can you do that? Through knowledge management. Improve the financial sector institutions employs intellectual capital, right? What are the three components of intellectual capital in a financial institution? One is the relationship capital, relationship capital. Now, you know, as a bank, we need to deal with different set of people. You may need to deal with your customers and your vendors, your partners, different people, different external parties you need to deal with. If you have a such sort of a relationship, good rapport with those external parties, it is an capital. So that capital we call them as a relationship capital. අපි කියන්නේ අර PR එකක් තියෙන මූට යන යන තැන ඉන්නවා කට්ටිය කියලා ඔය කියන්නේ කතාවට. මූට මාර යාළුවෝ තුකයක් ඉන්නේ. යන යන තැන යාළුවෝ සෙට් වෙනවා. ඇයි ඔයාට බැරි? We jealousy about some people. So that is his regional relationship capital. That is why sometimes the bank, it give you sponsor membership fees for certain institution, certain Lions Club or like that. So why banks are sponsoring all these things to the managers as well as to you all to develop your relationship. Why? If you have a relationship, that particular one person can come to your bank. Right. Second is the human capital. Right. Now, human capital is, knowledge and competencies residing within the institution's employee. Right. What you know about your product and services, what you know about your competitors, what you know about the financial industry, what you know about your economy in Sri Lanka, what you know about your, technological, basically the knowledge about the people, right? So that is the knowledge, right? And also that is the human capital. අපි කියනවානේ උගත්කම හොරකම් කරන්න බෑ කියලා. නේද? කතාවකුත් තියෙනවා නේද? මොකද්ද කියන්නේ? හැම මොකකටම වැඩි ලොකුයි උගත්කම කියලා. And that's a human capital, right? Okay, that's the second one. Third one is called the organizational capital. And this is collective know-how beyond the capabilities of individual employees. That is your organizational brand name, your organizational reputation, your organization information system, right? And your organization policies, procedures. So these are organizational capital, right? That means that is something is belong to your organization, right? So what are the three intellectual capital, therefore, in the knowledge management in a financial institution need to grow? One is the relationship capital, second, the organizational capital, and the third is the human resource, human capital. So each and every employee in the organization, remember, need to develop these activities, right? Okay. Right. Okay, then before I come to this part, we'll go to job stress, right? Before we come to next part, we'll discuss about the job stress, right? Now, before I moving to the job stress, I'll ask from you all, right? Please give me some reason. Don't you think the job stress is good for your organization or bad? Can anybody support me? Job stress, good or bad?
So both, sir.
Huh? Yes or no?
Good and bad, both, sir.
Both. How you say bad? Why you say good then?
Good is in the sense that brushing your teeth also can be stressful if you take it. It's like the way how you think. You are occupied and
Okay, good. Right. I know you have something in your mind. Now see, now boss, your manager has given you which bank you are, Puta? Son, which bank you are? You want to discuss? Come on, let the keyword. Mona bank with the Putawaya. Sean, no?
Ceylon Bank. Ceylon
Ceylon.
Bank.
Okay, Ceylon. Right. Now your boss is telling you to do something. Right? Now, so you are stressed from the pressurized from the manager. Right? So therefore, sometimes you tend to do that. Yeah, okay, good. Now Imandi has mentioned something. He is motivated to do the job better. Yes, if you have some stress, only you try to achieve. You are trying to achieve some challenging job. If you have a stress situation, කොහොමරි මම මේක ඉවර කරන්න ඕන. Because I have given the deadline. So you are trying to achieve that targets. So therefore, remember, you can say stress at works, of course, is unavoidable, right? All of you have a some stage is come across of a stress. Is that true? මොනවාරි අවස්ථාවක ජීවිතයක stress ඇවිල්ලා නැද්ද වැඩ කරනකොට? Right? And yeah, everybody face some sort of a stress in your working organization, right? So, but only issue is now outcome is what sometimes can have a damaging effect on the organization if it is more beyond certain point, right? Now if you draw a chart like this, right? If you draw, you can see, right, y-axis is your product performances or maybe productivity, y-axis. Then here is your stress level, right? X-axis is stress level. How the chart is going to be? Chart, okay, with the little bit of stress, the productivity increase, but at some point, and it is come down. So you don't want you more stress beyond that point, right? Beyond that point. So that is what you call. So you need to have a stress level. If your questions come about the something about the stress, you can always draw this one diagram, right? That tells you a lot of things to your examiner. If there is any questions comes in the stress, always draw that chart and do everything. Then examiner have an idea about what you're going to say, right? That shows there is some stress level is needed to you to perform your job. That shows good thing. And also they talk about the bad things about that chart. After some point, too much stress, what happened? It is performance is coming down. If you draw this diagram, right, at exam, so you get an idea and you will impress the examiner. This chart tells you so many things that shows, okay, you need some sort of a stress, right, as well as too much of stress, also not good, right? And you noted that in USA and other countries, around in annually around 100 US dollars billion lost to the economy in USA alone. Imagine how much the survey done in the USA, and 100 billion US dollar lost to the economy because of job stress, right? Huge. Or other countries may be the similar way, right? So therefore, remember, there should be some amount of stress for workers to maintain their day-to-day activities, right? Which leads to productivity. That, of course, you need to understand, right? So therefore, complete removal of job stress will not increase the overall productivity. So therefore, you must have some sort of a stress level. If you want to put it in a small sentence, you can write down there should be some amount of there should be some amount of stress for workers. There should be some amount of stress. There should be some amount of stress for workers to maintain their to maintain their to maintain their day-to-day activities. day-to-day activities, which leads to productivity, right? Which leads to productivity. Please draw that diagram, right? And therefore, complete removal of will not help to increase the overall productivity, right? However, work stress beyond certain point can have a damaging effect on the organization as well as employees, right? Damaging employees. Now, what happened? If it happened, now you may have a lot of problem because of the job stress. Now, it's leading to what? It's leading to headaches, increase the cholesterol, increase the diabetes, right? There may be a lot of health issues results as a of this, right? So there may be a lot of association. When you go for a doctor, what they ask if you have some pain and all, they say, okay, are you doing a stressful job? Sometimes they'll ask because they have realized that blood pressure, cholesterol, sugar level increase, and even for what you call joint pains, arthritis, also results of this job stress. Even you're working, and ergonomics, that means the way you sit and doing the computer, also sometimes is a job stress, right?
So,
Okay, go ahead, Pooja. You want to
uh,
ask something?
so there's a stress which helps you to work. Is it called positive stress?
There won't be, you can't say Puta it's a positive stress per se, because there's stress nothing to be a positive, no. So there isn't some point Puta, there may be a make use an advantage to address the certain organizational issues, right? But you can say positive stress, but it is rather it's not size to say bad thing for a good thing, no. Understood,
So, yes, sir.
right?
So the
Okay,
other
right.
thing can be
Pardon?
negative stress and positive stress can be said. No, sir.
Yeah, you can
Negative.
say it. You can say it, but then okay, now there is some stress you needed. Now, like this conflicts. Now say conflicts. Now conflicts can take place in your organization. You may have a conflicts within your own people, right? Within yourself, right? With the groups, with the organization. There may be a lot of conflicts, right? But conflicts also are good some extent. Why conflicts is good? Right? Then only people, the management realize, right? There is some conflicts in the organization. There may be issues on the organization. Otherwise, people and management don't know if there is any conflicts. If conflicts arise, only people know there is a conflicts. So then they are trying to sort it out. Right? There are ways and means of conflicts handling, right? So don't worry about in your case, right? When you go to when you study about the organizational behavioral psychology, they will talk about all these things in details, right? But in your case, that is what you call avoidance, conflict management, the smoothing management. There are lot of techniques, but don't worry in your exam. So they don't want to check your HR specialist knowledge, right? So that is they need to know about day-to-day knowledge. But stress management play an important role because in today's situation, we have a lot of absenteeism, latecomers, job frustration, and then the what you call productivity impacted about the job stress. No, so that is why now say certain banks, anybody from DFCC, even for I know there may be having a yoga class after office hours. Anybody who want to join the yoga class can join there and do. I think anybody from DFCC. I think I don't know now they're having, other banks also having, because the bank is conducting some yoga classes, some exercises classes to avoid these individual stress while you're working, maybe with the family or whatever, right? I think anybody from DFCC, to my knowledge, a DFCC has conducted some yoga classes after working hours at head office. Anybody want to come? So why this? Why HSB? Why DFCC is conducting all these things? It's because they know the stress faced by the employees. They want to, through the yogi classes and some exercise. You may have you can release some of the stresses. Now that is why government also very interested know about having jogging path and all. So there's a good side and the bad side. So good side of having the jogging path, right, is what? Reduce the stress. But for some people, having the jogging path also important for personal reason, right? That is why our people are very concerned, because always there is some positive side. No, අපි මේ හදන්නේ jogging path හදන්නේ රට අලංකාර කරන්න මිනිස්සුන්ට සෞඛ්‍ය ලබන්න. ඉතින් ඒ යන ගමන් මොනවාද අර කොස්සට මුයියොත් බාවලා තල ගොයිත් බාවලා යනවා වගේ කතාවක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. But actually it is a stress condition, right? Remember that also. Okay, and it may lead to avoid a lot of job conflicts, and stress is facilitate for you to develop your time management, right? Okay, there are avoiding a job stress, right, and do a lot of things. And what happened? Absenteeism, labor turnover, low productivity, and also medical cost increase, no? Right, therefore stress management for a bank also play an important role, right? Okay, so then again dieting, so there are something, and you may learn can you observe for stress? If a person working, how you identify a stress? Suppose you are a manager, can you identify another person's stress?
Cancel.
Can you identify a stressfulness of a person?
Cancel.
How?
If he's more tired, fatigue.
Yeah, good, right. So what is so I think you may I learned in those things in lower background ago, right? For my A level time, we learned about what is the hormones alive because of you get some stress. So these are scientifically proven thing. The moment you have some stress, what is happening in your pituitary instruct certain glands to survive salivation of what? Hormones, right? What are the adrenaline?
Adrenaline.
You remember? So these are hormones secreted with other one is costostic. No, I can't remember now all this all one time what we learned. So the moment you have the adrenaline is putting to the system, what happened? Your muscles get activated, right? And that is moon of pimbila, moon of dekai, apikane moon of ratuela. So what told? So therefore, sometimes you can see a person in the stressful situation, right? Certain thing. That is why we need to understand he is having some sort of a stress. So how can you sort it out there? Because the moment you have the stress, right, it is very difficult to work. No, at least you take some time to come to the normalcy. So therefore, handling stress is now, you see, is a very important thing in an organization, right? I hope you understood about the job stress little bit clearly now. Okay, I don't think they will answer big questions, but at least you know what is stress is very important to handle in the organization, right? Okay, so now with that, we may move into the other part, right? What is we call we are going to discuss a little bit of management of human, right? So we are going to discuss some of the act passed in the parliament, right? Now if the examiner asks from you, right? Sometimes they never net yet asked, but there are some questions asked, right? What are the act passed in the parliament or passed in act available in the in your bank regarding the employees' welfare? So we need to look after that also. What is the main thing? We call them as EPF. Everybody must have a EPF. Then ETF. Then you may have a payment of gratuity. Then Shop and Office Employees Act. That is the act you belong to. What is the act you belong to? Banks, Private Banks Act comes under, remember, Shop and Office Employees Act, right? Remember that also. So you and me comes under Shop and Office Employees Act. Then we may have a wage board ordinances, not much applicable into banks, but it may be applicable to other work situations. And terminations of employment of workers and Industrial Dispute Act. That what we discussed last week, right? Okay. So there are some acts. If the examiner asks you, name few acts with pertaining to the employees' welfare, it's come usually the short-term question, first question. You in a position to write at least 3 or 4. What are the? At least you can write to Employees Provident Fund, Employees Trust Fund, Shop and Office Employees Act, Industrial Dispute Act, terminations of employee. At least you must at least APF and ETF you need to write, and Shop and Office Employees Act. Those are applied. Those are the acts directly relating to your job. Okay, right. Now, having understood that, let's look at it. What is the difference between ETF and ETF? Right? Okay. Now, I ask from you, okay, write down or put it down 2 column for you to better understand it. Okay. So I will share with you this question. Right. EPF and ETF. Now I'm asking from you, what is the differences between EPF and ETF? Okay, let me start now. Everybody must be aware your ETF and ETF, right? Okay, clear? Right. So differences. If the examiner asks you what is the differences between EPF and ETF, right? What you can write under EPF? First, you need to write, if a questions come in like that, you need to write the prevailing act. Right. Let's look at the prevailing act. So, okay, look at it, your earlier slide. What is the thing you need to write? Employees Provident Fund Act number 15 of 1958. So, you need to write. So, Employee Trust Fund, you put it Employee Trust Fund 46 of 1980. Actually, who initiated the Employee Trust Fund? It is a very recent one, not so old. No, the 1958 is an Employee Provident Fund, and there may be amendments, but that's the main act, like Banking Act, right? Employee Trust Fund 46 of 1980. Actually, this Employee Trust Fund was initiated by the Mr. Athulat Mudil. I think you may heard about. Lalit Athulat Mudil is the person who created this Employee Trust Fund during his time, right? Okay, that is the first one. Second one, what you need to write under EPF and under ETF. Okay, under ETF, now who is going to contribute? Who is going to contribute EPF? Come on, I need support from you. Son, who is contributing EPF?
Employee.
Both employer and employee. Right, both it is a contributory product, it is a contributory fund, both employer and the employee, right? How much you put from your gross salary? How much employer putting? Say
12% by
how much?
12% by the employer,
12% from
8%
the
by the
employer, and 8%
8%.
from employee, right? You write down that. Now, these are some of the common things you need to know, because you also getting all these things, right? I can remember one time they asked a question about, right, on that EPF and ETF. Now, before that, I want to tell you, okay, so I will explain once I complete this part. Right. Then, okay, as far as the ETF, it is a contributor effect. It is a who contribute. It's again employer and employer, or only employer. It is contributed. Only employer is contributed. Only employer, not both. Only EPF only contributed by employer and the employee, whereas the ETF only contributed by the employer. How much? What percentage? Then payslip එක අරන් බලන්නද කවදාකවත්? ඔය දෙන එක අරන් එනවද ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොම ටික? I'm never go through. How much the employer contributed to your ETF? Percentage you say වගේ ලක්ෂයක් නම් පඩිය හිතමු කීයක් දානවද? Come on.
3%.
3%, right? 3%, Achila. Good. Right, 3%. Right, now you know the two differences. Right. Third differences. Right. Okay, what is the third differences? Can anybody tell me? What is the objective of a EPF? Right, we discussed earlier also, right? What is the main objective of a EPF? Right? Why we have a system like that? What is the main objective? Main objective, remember, is to ensure that an employee, right, to ensure that an employee gets a lump sum payment, in his her old age or retirement, right? So main objective is to ensure that an employee gets a lump sum payment in his her retirement. That's the only thing you get it. No, after working for so many years, you are getting that lump sum amount. That is why we discuss when you have the pension benefit, retirement benefit, where are you going to invest? The most secure place, right? Remember, right? So that's the main objective, right? Okay. Now look at it. ETF. What is ETF talk about? It is interim benefit, right? It is an interim benefit. So given to employee, can use during work life. How many years? Every 5 years. Or if you move from another job to another job, yes, you can take. Or every 5 years, even though in the same organization, right, you can take that ETF. But whereas the EPF, when can you get it? Once you completed of how many years? For a girl, 50 years. A boy is usually for 55 years. A gent boy, the gent 55 years. For lady, they can take 50 years if they want. Right? There are some exceptional, right? There are some exceptional, like suppose if you're migrating, suppose you have a disabled, some disabled situation. Okay, so there may be a time you can take some partial payment, right? Okay, right. So important thing I have not talked to you. Now, who administrate the fund? Now, remember, EPF and the ETFs are funds. What is that? We call them as funds. Those are sometimes we call superannuation funds, right? In that sense, what is the largest fund in Sri Lanka? Largest fund in Sri Lanka is EPF. At the moment, it's consisting around more than 2.3 trillion rupees. දැන් ඕකට තමයි ඇගහන් ඉන්නේ. Right? What is the amount? Huge fund. 2.3 trillion. When you are compared with ETF, right, it is not much. It may be around 200 odd funds, right? 200 billion, because it's small. Recently, and the amount of cutting is 3%, and they are recently introduced. Therefore, so can you name? Okay, now I'll ask from you. What are the funds you come across? Name 3 funds. Can you name 3 funds? Something like similar to this. We say EPF. It's a fund. ETF is a fund. Another famous fund. How you call that fund? අයෝ දැනගන්න ඕනේ පුතෝ. තව ෆන්ඩ් එකක් තියෙනවා. බැංකු වලට අදාළ වෙන. How you call
Provident,
huh?
Provident Fund.
No, Provident Fund තමයි පුතා EPF කියන්නේ පුතා. Okay? Provident Fund is the EPF fund. තව ෆන්ඩ් එකක් තියෙනවා අපි දන්න. අපිට හැමෝටම සමහර වෙලාවට ප්‍රයෝජනවත් වෙනවා. What is that fund? Come on, you know. Maintained by central bank. අමතකයිද? වැව්වොත් එහෙම ගෙවන්නේ මේකෙන්. වැව්වොත්
Insurance and that
හරියට
fund.
ඕනේ හරියට කියන්නේ. හරි. හරි. How you call? Deposit insurance and liquidity
Liquidity.
support fund. Right? Remember, we learned a lot more on this. This fund we will give you if the bank have some problem or cancel their license. So the depositors can get maximum up to 1.1 billion rupees per customer per institution. Right. So that's another fund. But that fund also may be around, not much, it may be around 30-60 billion. But this fund, EPF and EPF is having imaging 2 point, that is what you call Provident Fund, right? 2.3. This is the largest funds. Right? Okay, good. Right. Then I want to ask from you, who managed the fund? Who managed the EPF fund? Okay, before that, who administered the EPF fund? කවුද පාලනය කරන්නේ මේ fund? Can anybody tell me? ඔය නාරයි පිට පැත්තෙන් එහෙම යනකොට දකින්න. What is that organization who administered the EPF? නාරයි පිටින් එහෙම යන්නේ නැද්ද? Who administered the fund? The Commissioner of who? Labor. Who? Commissioner of Labor. Right? Who administered the fund? ඒ කියන්නේ සල්ලි එකතු කරන් ඔය අපි යන ආයතන වලින් සල්ලි එකතු කරලා දාගෙන කරන්නේ. Right? එතන who managed the fund? කවුද මේ ෆන්ඩ් එක මැනේජ් කරන්නේ? ඇඩ්මිනිස්ට්‍රේටර් කරන්න වෙන කට්ටිය, ෆන්ඩ් එක මැනේජ් කරන්න වෙන කට්ටිය. කවුද ඒ? That is Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Right? Remember earlier, and this was managed, administered by Labour Ministry. But later on, if you ask from your parents must be well aware, and it was taken out from the ministry by the former President Mrs. Chandrika Kumar Tunga, and gave to the central bank. During that time, he is the Minister of Labour, is none other than our present Prime Minister, Mr. Rajapaksa, Mahinda Rajapaksa. Right? He wanted to do something, and Chandrika Bandaranaike President was taken the fund and give it to the control of the fund to the central bank. Right? So therefore, now EPF administered by the Commissioner of Labour, but fund is managed by the Ministry of Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Whereas the ETF ETF is not that. ETF both administered and fund managed by the Employee Trust Fund Board. Right? What is that? Employee Trust Fund Board. Right? Trust Fund Board. Okay. So then these funds have a lot of advantages. Tell me one main advantage. You can use it for ETF. Banks people must know all these things. In your in your EPF, you can make use of as a security to get a what? Not all banks are giving. Some banks are offering only. But you can get it from using your EPF as a collateral.
EPF loan.
Huh?
EPF loan.
Yeah. What purposes you can take it usually? You can take it for housing loan. Right? EPF loan, some banks are giving housing loan. Right? Using EPF as a collateral. Right? Okay, so that's good. And again, sometimes you may get a lot of other benefits. Right now, example for ETF, what they are giving? They are giving scholarship for 5-year students. They are giving scholarship for A-level students. Since their parents are members of these things, they will give. And even some treatments. Right, if you don't have money, so you can get some treatment for certain heart, what you call heart surgery, right? Okay, so you can get some money from that. Those are free, nothing to do with, right? Those are specific corporate, right? So remember, so therefore the EPF and ETF, I'll just discuss with you the comparison. I think now you know to answer any questions if the examiner asks from you, whether it is EPF or ETF, right? Okay, clear? Finish? Haridhar. Now with this short note, we are now come to a end of what? End of HR. Somebody's mic is please I think unmute කරන්න පුතා mute කරන්න කවුරු හරි කෙනෙක්ගේ mic එකක් දාලා තියෙනවා සද්ද එනවා right කවුරු හරි එක්කෙනා එක mute කරන්න thank you very much okay right now we are come to the last episode of the financial clients management, right? Okay, so with that EPF ETF, we just concluded human resource management, right? Now you noted now up to now we have completed type of financial clients, right? We discussed savers, borrowers, investors, and then we discuss about the payment services customers, right? And there we discuss the product features, right? Characteristics of features. We discuss the type of lending products, what are the specific characters, risks, benefits, all we discuss. And then under investment, we discuss the risk types. We discuss risk lower, risk averse, risk neutral, right? Can you remember? So now all things we have discussed under type of financial clients. Then payment methods we discuss, right? We discuss about open banking, and then we discuss in detail with slips, SEFs, RTGS, right? So many things we discuss, including the fintechs, right? We discuss a lot of things under type of financial clients. Okay, now you also need to remember all the things, right? Okay, then we discuss about a financial product marketing. Then we discuss what is marketing, why it is important, right? Then we discuss the concept of marketing from production to product to marketing to service to holistic marketing, right? And then again we discuss the marketing of how products vary from service, right? So what are the characteristics of service, right? And also then we discuss in marketing what are the backdrop of marketing. We discuss core component of marketing, right? Product prices, right? Remember product market. Then we discuss product and services. Then we discuss the satisfaction, right? Then we discuss the relationship, and then we discuss the buyers and sellers, like that. The backbone of marketing or core concept of marketing we discuss. Then we discuss about the a little bit of the marketing mix variables. We discuss product. We discuss pricing. Why pricing is good? Pricing is unique, right? We discuss in detail what are the pricing methods used by the bankers, right? Then we discuss about the promotion, and then we discuss a lot of things about the promotion, personal selling, digital marketing, right? Social media, advertising, sales promotion, right? Exhibitions, whatnot, right? We discuss all these things. And when we discuss about the place, about the delivery, right? About the branches, the delivery aspect, okay? Distribution aspect we discuss. And then we discuss three P's which consist of a marketing mix. One is price, play, physical evidence, then what else, process, and what is the other one, people. How important these three elements, specifically in the services business market. So we discuss so many things under this category, right? And then we discuss about marketing also. We discuss a little bit of marketing planning, and we discuss product life cycle, right? Then we discuss constant BCG, right? Right? Then we discuss about the some strategies you need to develop for your marketing products, and we discuss a little bit of introducing new product, right? We discuss PLC, new product development process, little bit of that. And then also we discuss a little bit of marketing planning, and also we discuss a little bit of market research and marketing research, right? So we discuss, okay, all these things comes under marketing. And then we discuss again, if you're going to open a branch, what you need to do, blah blah, right? What is a method you are going to use to promote your product. Then we move into discuss about the customer protections and laws and practices, right? Then we learn a lot of things, why you need to protect the customer, what is financial ombudsman, what is customer charter, right? And then we discuss credit counseling center. We discuss about the parate execution to some extent, a little bit of detail, right? And we discuss about KYC, anti-money laundering, terrorist finance, financial transaction reporting act, right? All things we learn under the customer protection, right? Okay, now pyramid and all we discuss under customer protection laws and practices. Right. Then we move into HRM. So under HRM, we learn other areas. What are the areas we learn under HRM? We learn so many things, why HRM is important, what are the objective, what are the strategic goals, what are the strategic objective, right? And then we discuss about functions of HRM. So we discuss job design, right? From job design to we discuss about what job analysis, and then we discuss job descriptions and job specification, right? Then we discuss um, human resource planning, right? And then we discuss about the recruitment. What are the methods you're going to recruit the person? What is recruitment is talk about, right? And we discuss about we discuss the selection. So once you recruited, how to select the best people to your bank, right? How to conduct selection, and then we give them a training, and that's initial training we'll call induction training. And then we discuss about the training and development, and then we discuss about your rewards, your salary. Then we discuss job evaluation, and then you discuss about the reward management, and then we discuss your performance appraisal, right? What is performance appraisal, why it is important, and blah blah, right? And then we discuss discipline management, health and safety management, a lot of things. And today we discuss about the other factors, grievances, right? Then welfare like EPF, ETF, right? And then we discuss about the knowledge management today, and then we discuss again conflicts and stress situation. Okay, we learn so many things under HRM. I told you beginning, HRM we considered as a short human resource management course, and that is very specific. Only the financial crisis management is conducting HRM, no any other subject, right? Okay, so having did all these four main area for the last 5 to 6 weeks, 5 to 6 months. Now we come to and the last sections of the syllabus, and that is a client's confidence management. Clear up to now what we have learned, right? So when you are studying also, try to remember that way, right? So try to recall what you have learned. So therefore you never forget. I guarantee you can easily pass the exam, right? So there is no any issue as far as your exam is concerned, right? I have delivered whatever I can to you, and it is your duty to just to go through, right? Now, having understood all these things about our syllabus, we are now come to discuss about the what? The next one, it's what you call client's confidence management. Now, at the very first day, we discuss with you, and banking business is purely depend on what? It is a trust and confidence about your organization, by the who? By your customers, right? Okay, by and customer. So trust and confidence is important, right? So, and it isn't challenging for bank. How you build up customers trust? And කෙනෙක්ගේ විශ්වාසය ගන්න ඕගොල්ලෝ දන්නවනේ කොච්චර අමාරුද කියලානේ නේද? දැන් ඒක in your life also you think, right? Very difficult to, right, build a trust. මොනවාරි එක මොහොතකින් ඔය trust එක කැඩුනොත් you know the problem. ඊට පස්සේ ඔයා මොනව කළත් ඔයාගේ අනිත් එක්කෙනා බලන්නේ කොහොමද? ඔයා දිහා සැකේ. Always have some suspicions about you. Why? You lost the trust and confidence. The moment you breach trust and confidence, very difficult to create again the trust and confidence. ඒ නිසා කරන ඕනෑම හොර වැඩ අවුෙන් නැති වෙන්න කරන්න කියලා තමයි කියන්න තියෙන්නේ. Right? So therefore, because once you destroy your trust and confidence, it is very difficult to build up again, right? And that is the business puzzle today by for bankers, how to build and maintain this customer trust, because it is very important to create a better relationship with the customer, lifetime relationship with the customer. People are now, we are talking about the customer relationship management, right? What is customer relationship management? So keep your customer with you for your lifetime, customer's lifetime, right? So that is what we are talking today, right? So the trust questions arise more often with the sales of a service, right? Why? And again, it's another important thing of difficult of building trust and confidence, because we are selling what? We are selling a service. It cannot be appealing to your five senses. So therefore, very difficult for you to develop the trust and confidence, right? You need to look at it that aspects way. Very difficult to create because of the nature of the business model we are dealing is a service oriented. So therefore, it is not appeal to your five senses, and it is very difficult to entrust. I mean, difficult to maintain that trust, right? So clients, what in return? They value honesty. Like anybody is value honesty. කොච්චර මෙයාක අවංක පුද්ගලයෙක්ද, right? So likewise, as a human being, so human being is an emotional customer. He never go for irrational behavior, right? It's an emotional customer. I will touch emotional little later on tomorrow, maybe next Sunday, right? So therefore, customers always, the clients always value your bank's honesty, right? They feel it, right? They feel it. They never cheat you, right? So you know what you can do in that case to build a confidence of the bank, right? What is meant by a public confidence? Meant by a public confidence by bank? More questions are asking from this area. What is meant by a public confidence by banks? Public confidence is the faith of the public, right? Public in its decision makers, regulatory authorities and government, and the policies they set, right? In fact, there are four important elements needed for public confidence in banks and the banking systems are alone, right? So now I'm going to discuss with you what are these four elements, right, needed for public confidence banks need to do. Number one, you can write number one, bank customers. I will explain and then I will give you I will dictate, right? You know, the bank consumers or bank customers need assurance what they want, right? So their money is safe. As and when you require the money, we can get it with interest and my principal amount, right? And also my bank must be kept in a secured supervision place, right? And these are some of the all my debts to the accounts come in the place, and no any alternations, and all my debits and credits put into in a proper manner, right? There won't be any nothing happen to my money, right? That is what we expecting, right? So let's look at the first four element. First element, one, you can write down bank customers. Bank customers need assurance. Bank customers need assurance. Bank customers need assurance. Bank customers need assurance that they have ready, that they have ready access to, that they have ready access to that they have ready access to their funds and other bank services right? Bank customers need assurance that they have ready access to their funds and other bank services. Number 2, so their records are safe. So all their transaction records are safe, right? Second point, their records are safe. We are assuming bank keep all our records are confidentiality and safe, right? Their records are safe. Third point, prudential regulation and supervision in place. PRUDENDIAL, prudential regulation and supervision in place, right? Okay, prudential regulation and supervision in place. So what do you mean by that? So that means, so our money will have a control by විතක්ෂණශීලී ක්‍රම සහ සුපරීක්ෂා යටතේ පවත්වනවා කියන, right? So prudential regulation, supervision in place. Fourth point, you can say all debits to the accounts or all the credits to the account are in place and unaltered. All debits to the accounts are in place and unaltered. All debits to the accounts are in place and unaltered. Right. These are the 4 things public expect from you. Now, if you ask you why you think banks, public confidence in bank is important, because as you know, the another important thing is bank basically carry out their businesses with whose money? The depositors' money, right? So therefore banks need to attract customers for deposits, right? And we need to, as an institution, need to have a confidence about the public in such situation. Because if you don't have a confidence about the bank, your bank is difficult to mobilize the money from the bank. So these banks, these funds mobilized from the bank by the customers, banks are using for lending and earn profits. So another way, why meant public confidence? What is meant by a public confidence by bank? Right? Right? Okay. So you can just put financial institution conduct their business mainly using, right, fund by depositors. So to attract depositors, so financial institution need to have developed confidence in the publics, right? Otherwise they won't give you. And also you can say Another important thing is the customer confidence leading to what? Customer confidence leading to, or it is important to, financial system stability. Right? Otherwise, what happens if the people have lost the trust and confidence? They go to the bank and try to withdraw the money. So what is creating? The panic situation. Right? So therefore, it basically impacted the financial system stability there. So, right? So there are many ways public confidence play an important role in bank businesses. One way, they want to get the deposits. In order to collect deposit from customer, you need to develop a trust and confidence. Right? If the customers panic, they try to withdraw the money from, if they lost the trust and confidence about the bank, they may panic and they go and try to withdraw the money. And it really seriously impact the financial system stability. And you can, for further, you can say financial system stability is not there, so it can really impact the economy of the country. Right? Okay, now you may have an idea about why we need to have a public confidence. Right? If the questions come from any way, you have to ඔය ටික තමයි එහාට මෙහාට දාලා අදා ගන්න තියෙන්නේ. Right? You need to say, okay, first one, bank business run by the depositors' money. In order to bring the depositors, you need to develop the trust and confidence. Right? So if you lost the trust and confidence, the customer become panic and they go to the bank and try to withdraw the money. Then what happened? Depositor run, right? You know what happened. So then the banks have an issue. So then we have a systematic issue. As a result of that, it will impact the financial system stability. If the financial system stability is not there, it will impact the economy of the country. Right? So therefore, public confidence play an important role in many ways. Right? Understood. Clear the ඔක්කොම ලියාගත්තද? Okay? Clear? හරිද? Any problem? Right? Okay? හරිද? කලින්ග?
Okay, sir.
Right, okay. Right. Next one. Right. Now we move into how to build the customer confidence. Right? Now, how we are going to build the customer confidence then? What initiative your bank taking? Okay. Now we discuss the customer confidence play an important role. Then, as your bank, to show him, no, right? Then right now, some people say, "I love you." Then other fellows say, "I don't know how you know whether you love me." Then you say, "I don't know I love you. So I won't feel it." Other bad thinking. I won't feel it. So in order to build the confidence of the other party, you need to show him, these are the actions or these are the things I have done to create this one. Likewise, what actions your bank taken to build up customer confidence. Okay, we can go. Okay, tell me your bank, what actions your bank has taken to build up the trust and confidence. Tell me one. right? What Sampath done to build up the customer confidence and trust? මොනවද ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ බැංකුව? දැන් අනිත් බැංකුත් මේවා කරලා ඇති. මොකක්ද කරලා තියෙන එක දෙයක්? එකක් කියන්නකෝ. කස්ටමර්ගේ විශ්වාසය දියුණු කරන්න ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ බැංකුව කරලා එක දෙයක්. We as a human, I just give you a simple one. Right. Now, we as human being, we always try to see then and there my balances. Right? And which ensure that my money is saved. Nobody is taken. Now, ඉතින් මම දැන් අවුරුදු ගානකින් බැංකුවකට ගියෙත් නෑ, සල්ලි දැම්මෙත් නෑ, නැත්තම් සල්ලි දානවා ඉලෙක්ට්‍රොනික විදිහට. දැන් මට දැනගන්න ඕනේ මේ සල්ලි ඇත්තටම තියෙනවද? කොච්චරක් ඉන්ට්‍රස්ට් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවද? කොච්චරක් තියෙනවද කියලා. Now, කොහොමද බැංකුව මේකට සපෝට් කරන්නේ? Why I told Sampath, other banks also doing. How you ensure that to the customer? සල්ලි වියදම් කරලා ගොඩක් නෙමෙයි. සල්ලි වියදම් කරන්නේ වැඩක් නෑනේ. How Sampath is doing? කලින්ග කොහොමද ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ බැංකුවේ කරන්නේ මේක? මම ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ එක්සැම්පල් එකක් ගත්තේ. අනිත් බැංකුත් දැන් එක එක අය කරනවා. Right? ඒ වගේම දේ කරනවා, but I think Sampath was initiated. How your bank has done? How you initiate you to build up the customer confidence? What? මොනවද කරන්නේ? SMS miss call, right? Number එක miss call එකක් ගාපුවා පට ගහලා SMS එකක් එනවා, this is your balance කියලා. එනවා එහෙම එනවද? එහෙම එනවා දන්නේ නැත ඔයගොල්ලෝ. Right? So that is what we call balance confirmation strategies. Right? Other banks also now using. So that is අනේ ඊටවා මං ගහනවා මිස් කෝල් එක. සල්ලි යන්නේ නැහැ නේ මට දැන් සල්ලි ගොත් කචා. ගාවා හරි. ටක් ගාලා මැසේජ් එකක් එනවා. This is your account balance is rupees 500,000 rupees. අප්පා. හරි බඩු තියෙනවා. Are you happy? Are you happy as a customer? I'm happy. Right? So that's what we need, no? That is first one we call balance miss call and balance confirmation. Right. Okay. That's a one. Right. Now again, another important thing. You go to the ATM or whatever the machine, you withdraw the money. Now that is compulsory now, right? And when you go to the supermarket, you use your credit card or debit card. You did some transaction. So what is happening? You get immediately, again, what? SMS confirmation. Right? For small amount, you get SMS confirmation. Right? What is it? You have done a transaction of car grease, food city, Calania, so much of money, blah, blah. This is your balance, everything. Oh, hurry. Then ඔයා ගෙදර ඉඳගෙන මේ වගේ මැසේජ් එකක් ආව නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ? අඩේ මේ කාඩ් එක පොකට් එකේ කොහොමද මගෙන් ගන්න කියලා you get panic, and at least now you are sure, right? And so nobody has taken my money. My card is not misused. So that is what you call SMS confirmation. So all build up the customer trust and confidence. So are you agree with me? Then you may have a mobile apps also. All banks are having mobile apps. Okay, so some mobile apps, so very good. Some of the mobile apps are very fantastic, very good. They tells you your FDs, when it's going to mature, what is the interest rate you're going to earn in next after maturity date. My goodness. And all the transactions you carried out. My goodness. So you are insured. कोई मम මේ වගේ transaction එකක් කළේ නැහැ. ඉතින් දැන් ඔන්න mobile app එක බලනවා wifi එක talk එක. ඔයා කොහෙද? ඔයා කොහෙද ගියේ මේ? ඔයා මේ ගිහිලා දිනවනේ මල හොර වැඩ කරන්න දැවුතු. කාඩ් වලින් ඔරවට කරන්න බැරුව යනවා. ඔයා කොහෙද ගියේ මේක? ඔයා මේ ගිහලා දිනවනේ මේ කොහරි හොටෙල් එකකට. ඔයා කොහෙද ගියේ? කවද්ද ගියේ? My goodness, that also dangerous, right? So never pay your unwanted bills through the card, right? Always try to use cash on that. Hurry, right? So you get all the information. Then you suddenly recall it. Mang arakin petrol gahuwane, right? Then you are comfort. So these are some of the ways you can build up the trust and confidence, right? That is mobile apps. So all the banks having different mobile apps, right? So therefore you may have a basically, right? So then you may have a call center facilities, right? Sometimes it's very difficult to get the call center facility, especially for some government bank, right? Then they said for better customer services will be recorded. ඊට පස්සේ දැන් අමුතු මොකද කියන්නේ? Due දැන් හැබැයි ඔය කියන්න බෑ හොඳේ. දැන් මොකද කියන්නේ? Due to COVID situation, only small number of or little number of staff are working. Therefore, apologize for any inconvenience caused here. All customer services are busy. Blah blah. Ayyo, my goodness. That's a different story, but at least there is a call center facilities available. So if you lost your card or something happened, you can immediately call and cancel all the transaction. So do you think now the customer confidence is coming on that? Your banks have initiative taken these things, right? Okay, then you have the call center facilities for to get some information as well as some transaction cancellation or maybe whatever, right? Okay, next. Okay, next one. What are the building up? Then you have promptly handling customer complaints procedure. So your bank also telling, right, there is a way of handling your complaint. Any complaints, they said, okay, within 2 days we will come back to you. If not call you, you call this number, and they give you a reference number also now. Now, not only the banks, even for Mobite, even for telecom also now giving the reference number. Now, not like those days. Those days we need to wait for, my goodness. Now they give you a reference number, right? This is your complaint number. So we have a now promptly handling customer complaint procedure established in your organization. So we are very confident. We're happy. We develop the trust and confidence, right? Then what else? And not only that, banks also conducting what? Financial literacy programs to educate the know-how about the financial businesses. Banks are developing. And banks conduct some ethical advertising. Ethical advertising. They never mislead the customers. Don't you think so? To build up the trust and confidence about the. If you're bad time also, they will talk to you and sometimes they will ask from you, okay, now some banks did that at the COVID-19 and they call and just ask. If you're a good customer, about you, how about you, you're okay and blah, blah. So what a confidence you build up about the bank. You are with them with the bad time also. Right? Clear. So there are enough initiatives can take place now. Thereby building up the trust and confidence. Any other things what I have not mentioned to you, Sitara? Anything you can add what I have not mentioned to you, your bank is doing, or you can propose to do. Build up the trust and confidentiality of the customers. What are the bank's initiatives? Your bank initiatives. Right? Any suggestions, Puta? Right? Right? Any suggestions? Any suggestions? Right?
We never
Anyone?
disclose their information to third parties.
What Buddha? Sachitra, what give Sitara, I didn't hear you.
We never disclose their information to other third parties. Sometimes
And
that
Buddha, what by the way, type ka levan amar. I'm not clear your what you are telling Buddha. There's some sound is coming. If you can just type and say, oh, chat taking one even at the Pulwana. Oh, otherwise, okay, it's not clear Buddha, right?
okay, sir.
Right. Anybody can suggest me what initiative your bank has taken to build up the customer trust and confidence. Right? Okay. Right. So think on that. Right. Now let's look at it. Right? What our regulator can do. What our regulator can do. Right? We learned this one on the customer protections also, right? What our regulator can do. They also can do a lot of things. Right? What are the regulator can do? As I explained to you, and recently they have so they look after one way is the bank. So the money what we are sending, because can you remember the public confidence? What we expected from the banks, prudential regulations and supervision. So that part can be done by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. So they also doing monitoring and strengthen the financial institution. Thereby you support the trust and confidence about the customers by monitoring your money deposited place. For that they came up with lot of initiatives. Some of you already aware. What are these? Minimum capital requirement, liquidity requirement you need to be, integrated risk management, customer charter. They also introduce lot of things, don't you? Right? So they also come up with so many things. And they introduce the corporate governance, minimum capital adequacy requirement, right? Accommodations, new liquidity requirements like uh, liquidity coverage ratio and things like that. Okay, so the central bank also initiated so many other activities. Okay, and they introduce customer complaints department recently, right? Customer relation department. If you have any complaints about certain issues, you can complain to the central bank. And recently they have established specific department, what you call customer relation department. That department will specifically address your problems, right? So these are the some of the initiatives taken by the central bank for betterment of your build up the customer trust and confidence. Not only that, they publish, they disclose the names of the licensed banks for understanding about the customers. මතකයිනේ පත්‍ර දානවනේ මේ අය තමයි register උනේ registered කවුද. They also conducting awareness program. They are regional level, regional officers of central bank also conducting education programs, customer awareness program, right? And customer inclusion programs, right? Lot of things they will carry out as a regulator, right? Okay, right. And also they may carry out so the government. The government also initiated now rules and regulation. And also they have given 100% government guarantee to National Savings Bank. Though not is from central bank, this is government given us. So your deposits and all. They come up with various new rules and regulation, government initiated, and give protection to the customers' deposit. National Savings Bank is the government guarantee, right? Apart from depository scheme, right? Okay, right. So then, with this small note, right, I will leave the today's lecture. We will continue the balance part in next Sunday, and we discuss about the customer relationships. Where okay, if you want, we have a 5 minutes. No, okay, we'll just no time to cover all, right? Okay, so then we're going to discuss about some sort of a relationship management, right? Where we are going to discuss about the banker customer relationship, or like debtor creditor, creditor debtor, bailer bailee, principal agents, right? Like that. Okay, now these things are, we are look at it not from the remember, we are not going to look at it not from the low point of view, from the customer point, orientation point of view. And then we are going to discuss the most important thing, what is relationship ladder and customer value proposition. That is the important thing, CVP, right? So once you have completed that part, so we may be going to discuss, are you having that questions paper with you? Okay, I will send you a are you having a question paper? Last 2021 January, right? Okay, I try to send you, or otherwise, okay, I will try to send you that question paper, and then, otherwise I will give it here, and then I will discuss with you that questions paper, right? Hopefully. Okay, any questions you want to ask, Puta? I'm going to wind it up today. Okay, we'll see that girl have sent. Okay. All right. Now we never disclose information to third parties. Sometimes people comes with checks and asking the balances of that account. We will not export it. Right, Puta. Sitara, yes, correct. But Sitara, that is all are doing to some extent, right? So what your suggestion is acceptable, but sometimes, Puta, you cannot. I mean, those are, I mean, you are need to maintain secrecy, no? So secrecy be maintained by not your bank. Usually other banks are doing, right? Okay, so that's welcome suggestion, Sitara, but it may be applicable to all other banks, right? So all banks are maintaining certain secrecy. But I am asking from you, what are the initiatives taken by bank to build up the trust and confidence, right? Okay, so, and also this is a legal requirement. No? If you disclose information about the third party, remember, it may lead to a legal issue, right? So what I am asking, without doing all, what your bank can do to build up trust and confidence. Of course, so at the moment every bank is doing, right? But people won't see that. කොහොමද මේක පෙන්වන්නේ කියලා ඉවා කියන්නේ. right? අපි ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ ට්‍රස්ට් කරන එක පෙන්වන්න එපා. අර මං කිව්වේ ලව් කරනකොට ලව් කියලා පෙන්වන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා. ලව් කියලා කටින් හරියන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට අනිත් එක්කෙනා කියන්නේ මට ඔයා ලව් කරනවා දැනිලා නැහැ. කොහොමද දන්නවන්නේ? and something like that. okay? වැරදි අදහසක් ගන්න එපා මං කියපු එකකින්, right? ඒ වගේ. right? So banks need to show how what they can do for you all to build up the trust and confidence, right? So that is why we have a confidentiality management. So we have learned confidentiality management in other areas, right? We discuss on the customer charter, then customer protection, ombudsman, right? Lot of things we learn, right? Central bank give the guidelines how to put an advertisement. ඔක්කොම එකතු කරලා ගන්න පුළුවන් මෙතන. Right?
So what about having relationship managers for corporate bodies, corporate customers?
Yeah, yes. एक පුතා ඒක model decision එකන්නේ. What you said is also not bad, right? ඒක ඒක ඉතින් service එකක් දෙන්න කරපු එකක්. What තේරෙනව නේද? ඒකේ customer confidence. Okay, ඒකත් you can have that also. There's no any hard and fast rule. Customer relationship management to deal with. But there are some banks who have the customer relations officer, right? Not only to deal with everybody, he need to deal with everyone. නේද? එහෙමත් බැංකු තියෙනවනේ. නේද? ඔයා කියන එකත් හරි. Okay, as a separate person. ඒකෙන් කොහොමද එච්චරම confidence develop වෙන්නේ? As a for entire public. Only for certain people, එහෙම බැලුවොත්. But okay, I mean, there is, and in this subject, mind you, in clients management, there won't be any wrong answer. But yeah, of course, you can argue, somewhere you can justify. So sometimes if you not get any answer, okay, you can write. Right? If the examiner feel it is good, yeah, he will give marks. Right? But there are sometimes there may be a very specific, straightforward answers. Right? Okay? Right. That's not wrong, right? But ek api kiyanne ek thing whenever mugut නැත්තම් කමකුත් නැහැ කියන එක. Right? So there on I can't say it's wrong. තේරුණා නේද පුතා? මුකුත්ම නැත්තම් ඒකත් යන්න පුළුවන්. තවත් ඒකත් එක්ක තවත් ලියන්න කියලා there is no harm. Okay? Right. We didn't receive this tune. එව්වනේ පුතා. බලන්න ඒකේ වල තියෙන්නේ සෙනසුරාදා හරි සිකුරාදා හරි ඕගොල්ලන්ට එන්න ඕනේ. මොකද I also send it little late. මට අමතකුණා මේක කරලා තියෙනවා කියලා. මම හිතුවේ කරලා ඇති කියලා, right? This tune was sent, right? If not, I will again check with them. They have sent most probably either Friday or Saturday, puta. That's what I think. Harda chala. Okay? Right. So if not, Hanita hammunada? Hammela tibbada puta?
Oh, sir.
Right. Achala, I think it is there, right? Right, we got it. Okay, thank you. No problem. So we will see on next, my final session, last Sunday. Okay? So we'll discuss this part, the balance part, and the question. Okay? Last year, this 2021 question. Okay? Right, see you. Have a nice time.